Hi family, it's good to see you again today. So we are having an interesting and intriguing topic today. It is about relocating to Australia. So many people have been asking, Taffy, please, may you make a video on how to relocate to Australia? So I got a few tips that I have with me that I wish to share today. So one, for someone to relocate to Australia, you need to follow different steps that I am going to simplify today. So the first step that you need to follow when you wish to relocate to Australia is writing your IELTS test. So when you write your IELTS test, in Australia they expect very high marks. So you should have an 8 in speaking, an 8 in listening, a 7 in writing, and a 7 in reading. So IELTS is written in different countries and the prices differ from country to country, but the prices that I saw ranged between 310 and 346. Maybe in other countries it's even lower or higher. So you need to check with your country how much you have to pay for an IELTS test. So after doing that, you need to do a skills assessment, which is done by ASEQA. ASEQA is Australian Children's Education and Care Quality. So it is done by the Australian authorities to assess foreign qualifications, giving them equivalence to their qualifications. And how much is ASEQA? ASEQA costs 1,050 Australian dollars. So if you need to have your qualifications assessed, what should you have? You should have your master's, bachelor's, and diploma. If you have these three, you can have them assessed and you can have an ASEQA statement. Okay, then after having your qualifications assessed by ASEQA, then you have to register as a teacher in Australia. And teacher registration in Australia is state by state based. So let me list the states that you can register in Australia. Of course, I don't know them offhand, so I will be reading from my little paper. There is Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Northern Territory, Western Australia. So registration in Australia is state by state based. So if you wish to teach in Queensland, it's best that you register in Queensland. If you wish to teach in Northern Australia, it's best that you register in Northern Australia, because each and every state has its own teacher registration board. So you cannot teach in in Queensland with a certificate from Victoria. Therefore, if you wish to go to Victoria, do the Victoria certificate. So another requirement for teacher employment in Australia is a police check. So what is a police check? For some of you guys who come from countries that use police clearance, that's similar. So you should have a valid police clearance. And for almost all immigrant teachers, they expect you to have a police check from your country of residence and your country of origin. What do I mean with this? For example, I stay in New Zealand and I've been living here for 12 months. So it means that I need a police check for the 12 months that I've been living in New Zealand. And I also need a police check from Zimbabwe, which is my country of origin. And I've lived in Zimbabwe for over 5 years. So guys, just remember, you need a police clearance. And for some of you who live in Botswana, South Africa, and not in Zimbabwe, you need both police clearances, one from South Africa and one from Zimbabwe. So they must be all valid. So when you have all this, now this will be the right time to do job hunt. Job hunt is not a walk in the park, my family. You need to be patient. You need to be perseverant. You need to be focused. So where will you be looking for your job? There are so many platforms that I have seen that people are using to do job hunt, but I've listed a few for you. The first one is Seek. The next one is Indeed. Some people also search for jobs on Facebook because there are different groups that have information about jobs in Australia. So some people also use LinkedIn and others use TradeMe. So don't hesitate to apply for the job directly from the employer. If you see an employer advertising on Seek or on do not also hesitate to apply for a job if you see that it's a recruiter hiring. So just remember, not all recruiters need you to pay them. Some are paid by the employers. So just remember, if you see a job on Indeed or Seek, if it's advertised by an employer or by a recruiter, just apply. Try from all baskets. You never know which basket will be open for you on that day. Then it will be time for visa application if you get a job, which is the best news any immigrant teacher will be waiting for. So there are two different ways that you can go. You can go either by self-sponsoring, if you can sponsor yourself, and you can also go by employer nomination. So most teachers, I see that they are going through employer nomination, and if you get a visa, that will be your passport to get to the new country. Unfortunately, pertaining visas, I cannot say much because I'm not an immigration lawyer. So if you need any more information, find an immigration lawyer, or you can also find information from the Australian website. Okay, so after receiving your visa, it will be the right time for you to buy your flight ticket. So this is the most interesting part of the journey. You know, not everyone has ever had a chance to pay for a ticket online, and not everyone even has a visa card. But you know, I forgot to remind you that for this journey to be successful, you need an active visa card. You know, it's so easy for you to pay for yourself in everything that you wish to pay for. So a visa card is the best thing that you can ever had, and so many banks have visa cards: FBC, NMB, Stewart Bank, CBZ. But you know what, guys, I always tell people about Stewart Bank because up to now I use my Stewart Bank account because it's cheap. So now let's discuss the sites that you can use to book for your flight tickets. So there are so many of them, but I just picked a few, and the ones that I've checked before and the ones that I know that they are legit. So I know of eDreams, I know of Flight Sender, I also know of Tripcom, I know of Expedia, I know of Skyscanner, among others. I know there are so many of them. Then one can also use the following airlines. I know of Emirates, South African Airways, Qatar Airways, Kenya Airways, as well as Ethiopian Airways. So I just picked a few, and I know there are so many that are used in different countries, but I know these ones, they go to Australia. So after all this is done, we consider the journey to have been done and dusted. What will that be meaning to you? It means that you are ready to live in the new country, embrace change, embrace different races, also embrace diversity, and it will be your chance to blossom. So just remember, the journey of a million miles began with a single step. You can start your first step today by writing an IELTS test, and you will be ready to go. Bye and good luck. Hope to see you in our next video.